Okay, so today we're going to look at multiplication with 2-digit by 2-digit numbers. So it's a little bit more involved than your 4-digit by 1-digit, 3-digit by 1-digit, or 2-digit by 1-digit, but it's just knowing what steps to take. It's not really any harder. If you can do 4-digit by 1-digit, you're going to be able to do 2-digit by 2-digit just fine. You just have to really think about place value with this one. So we have our same three strategies. We have area model, standard algorithm, and then like if they were to run into each other, they would make partial products. It's a bit of a combination of the two. So we are first going to look at standard algorithm like we did yesterday, because standard algorithm is what changes the most when you start doing 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication. The other ones are just extra steps. Standard algorithm, we do have a couple changes that we have to remember in order to get the problems correct. So we are first we're going to look at the problem 42 times 38. And so when I did my standard algorithm times 1-digit, I just had a number in the ones place on the bottom. So when I multiply it out to the ones, I'd be done with it. Now I'm not, so we'll talk about that. So I start out with my ones place. I know 8 times 2 is 16. So I put my 6 here. And I carry my 1 up above my 4. I now do 8 times 4, which I know is 32. And I know that I have 32 and 1. I need to add those. 32 plus 1 is 33. So I can take that out. We've taken care of that. So right now what we've done is we've done 42 times 8. I have multiplied this 8 everywhere that it can. So when I do this step, there are two things. When my ones are done, I can get rid of that 1, but then I need to drop down here under my 0, or under my 6 and put a 0, because even though I'm now going to be multiplying out a 3, it's a 3 in the tens place. There is nothing I can multiply by the tens place to give me something that is going to end up as a 1. So I know that's going to be 0. So I go ahead and drop this down as a placeholder to make myself know when I'm writing my numbers to not put anything here, because I'm finished with my ones, so nothing else can be in the ones place. Once we do that, we're good to start again. 3 times 2 is 6, which if you look at it, you know that's really 30 times 2, which would be 60, and this number is 60. Now, 3 times 4 is 12. So now I've multiplied my tens out to everything, and I'm finished with that. That means I have nothing left to multiply. Now I can go ahead and add. 6 plus 0 is 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. Bring down my 1. We found out that 42 times 38 is 1,596. So our differences with standard algorithm, we have to take it one place value at a time. When we're finished with a place value, not only do we cross it out, we have to drop a placeholder 0 down to remind ourselves that nothing we multiply this 10 by could ever end up in the ones place. Now if we look at area model. So yesterday when we looked at it, if we had a 4-digit by 1-digit, we had 4 boxes across the top and it went down 1. Now this is 2-digit times 2-digit. So I'm going to need, when I make my box, I'm going to need 2 at the top and 2 on the side. So I know I'm doing, at the top I'm going to want 42, and down the side I'm going to want 38. Really doesn't matter. You can move them around. It doesn't change your product. So it doesn't matter if you wanted to do 42 on the side and 38 on the top, that's fine. So when I look at 42, that 4 is in the tens place, so it's not really representing a 4. The value of it is 40. Now the value of this 2 is in the ones place, so it's 2. Down on the side, same thing. The value of the 3, it's a 3 in the tens place, so it's 30. The value of the 8, just 8. I can draw my arrows to remind myself what numbers I am multiplying. And then now I'm ready to go. So I know in this box I need to look up and to the left. So when I have these zeros, I can go ahead and put 2 zeros at the end because I know that's what that's going to be. When I'm multiplying by multiples of 10 by things that end in 0, I don't have to stress out about it because I already know that it's just going to end in zeros. Now, 3 times 4, I know is 12. So I had my 12, I added my 2 zeros, so 30 times 40 is 1,200. Now when I come to this box, I'm going to multiply, I'm going to go up and all the way over. 2 times 3 is 6, and I need to add in my 1 0, so 2 times 30 is 60. Down here I go all the way up, 40 times 8, I know 8 times 4 is 32. Bring down my 0, so 40 times 8 is 320. And now I've got this last box all the way up to 2, all the way over to 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Once you've multiplied out all of your different numbers, now you're ready to add them. When you add them, I always, when I stack my numbers up, I go from greatest to least. I just think that helps me keep everything lined up easier. I've got zeros and then a 6. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 2 plus 3 is 5. Bring down my 1. We got the same. We got 1,596. So far, we have gotten the same answer. Now, partial products gets a little tricky, or it's not really tricky, just a little bit. If I do 42 times 38. And I'm going to color code this because I think color coding it helps a little bit. Move these books and get my different colors. Hopefully these all work. So the first thing I'm going to multiply, I know, is 8 times 2. So I'm going to come over here and in my purple, I'm going to write 8 times 2 because that was where my first arrow was. Now next, I know I'm going to multiply this 8 to the 4, but I know that it's not really 4. That value of that digit is not 4, it's 4 in the 10th place, so the value of it is 40. So really that represents 8 times 40. Well, now I can look and I can see there is nothing else that I can multiply my 8 to. So I can go ahead and get rid of my 8 because I'm finished with it. I've multiplied it out everywhere that I can. Now the next thing that I multiply is this 3. Here's where people get confused. They write 3 times 2. But I know that this 3 is in the tens place, so it's really not 3, it's 30. So I would have 30 times 2. And then the final number that I would multiply is, we've got to remember, this is not 3, it's 30 times 4 in the tens place, so 30 times 40. So I color-coded it just to show the different where I've multiplied. You obviously don't have to color-code it, but it's super important. The most important thing with partial products is remembering place value and the value of the digits. Not just, it is the digit 3, but it's in the tens place, so it's the value of it is 30. If I were to just do 3 times 2 and get 6, that's a lot different than 60, and my answer is not going to be correct. So now when I start multiplying these out, 8 times 2 is 16. I'm going to go ahead and put my 0 here because I see a 0 at the end. And then I know 8 times 4 is 32, which means 8 times 40 is 320. I'm going to go ahead and put my 0 here because I see 1 at the end. And now I'm left with 3 times 2, which I know is 6. Here I see 2 zeros at the end, so I'm going to go ahead and put both of my zeros there. And then I know 3 times 4 is 12. So now I've done each of my I've done each of my partial products. Now I'm ready to add them up. 3 plus 6 is 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. Bring down my 1. I got 1,596. So regardless what strategy you use, we're going to get the same product. And it's super important to remember with area model, remember your place value. Remember that you've got to put, if it's a 4 in the tens place, you've got to make it 40. Remember with standard algorithm, once you're finished multiplying out your ones, you've got to drop your placeholder 0 down so that you don't misalign your numbers. And with partial products, it's super, super important to remember your place value. Place value never goes away.